Hi, so I want to thank Tracy for agreeing to make this video with me today. I'm sorry she can't be here, but it's really exciting that she can share her story and why we have gotten on and what we hope to do in the future. So because I think Tracy's amazing and she's so incredibly humble about it, I'm going to let her introduce herself and because I could never do her justice. But knowing Tracy, I'm not sure actually how she will tell you how amazing she is, so you'll just have to believe me. So yeah, fire away, Tracy. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me on this video. And yeah, hi to everyone. I hope you're having a great time in the workshop tonight. I've had a clash of things that are also about educating women. So a little bit about my background. I'm Tracy and I have a long, strong background in fitness. I've built companies. I've worked in Asia for over 20 years, and then I moved back to New Zealand in 2021 during the pandemic. I connected with Dr. Sam through a friend who had gone to visit Dr. Sam for some support with her menopause symptoms. And I can't actually remember, did we started emailing first or through Facebook or something like that. A lot of people meet that way these days. And then my daughter was actually going to school in the Hawke's Bay, so I was lucky enough to meet you live, which was awesome. Oh, you came up to the mount and we were like chat and realized that we both have a deep passion for supporting women through menopause. Obviously, you with your background in the medical field, and me with my background in fitness and wellness. So what I do now is I create content online for women to access easily to support their fitness, nutrition, and wellness journey. When I talk about wellness, I think of all the things. I think it's great to do the checklist of the workout today and get your strength training done and get your running and then making sure that you're eating all the right things. But I feel from my experience in the last couple of years supporting women in this space that a really important part of that is stress reduction, quality sleep, community, and joy. And they are some of the foundations of the work that I do. So, I'm known for being a fitness expert, but over time and my own personal experience with perimenopause, it becomes apparent that you need all the things to make it work and to support your own menopause journey. Did you want me to talk about my menopause journey?
I think that's really valuable, and it just kind of helps. I think helps us to understand and relate to different bits along our own journey. So yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I think like many women who do take their fitness and wellness seriously, you would probably exercise most days. You're encouraged to take a day off and rest, but if you're into fitness, then you're like, nah. But as I started in Devon, I of course did not know that's what it was. I found it really challenging to sleep through the night. My muscles were constantly sore and tired. My joints started to ache, and I started to experience anxiety. Although I kind of put it down to stress, I never really felt that anxiety was something that I'd ever had a problem with. But when I look back on it now, it was definitely anxiety, low level depression. And I wasn't to know that was perimenopause. And this is the juncture. So when you are in the fitness industry and you know how your body works, you know the science and the physiology of what to do, how to get results, and then you come up against perimenopause, it's a bit of a game changer actually from a woman's perspective in that stage of life. And particularly because I had never heard of it. My acceptance of what menopause was somebody probably mid 50s, and that was all I knew. It was a word that linked to a roundabout age mid 50s, not everything that ramped up to it, which was the symptoms, the symptomatic side of it. So I started to experience symptoms and started a podcast to talk about it because I felt like nobody was. And I wanted some answers and I didn't have all the answers. So I spoke to the experts, for example, you, Sam, multiple times on the podcast. And then I wrote a book of my personal experience with the menopause symptoms with some ideas and hacks. Well, they're evidence-based, so they do work, how to support your symptoms. And then it started the ball rolling that, hey, fitness is the thing that I'm really passionate about. I think I can really help women in this time of life understand how to work out, how to eat, and support their symptoms with those foundations that I spoke about. And so I've engaged a fitness app and I put programming into the fitness app, and it's called the Sexy Aging Fitness and Wellness app. And it has become like a mission and a purpose. And it becomes deeper every day because I hear from women that they're feeling stronger and more confident, like they got their mojo back. There's not a big discussion on weight loss and stuff anymore, which I feel was pretty challenging for us as we get older. There's a bit more weight gain, you don't have as much control over that, and it feels like why. So being able to support women in the app and across the different parts of my platform, and encourage and ensure that they understand that a healthy life for the rest of their life becomes the primary focus. And yeah, there will be some weight loss over time, but I think we need to get our head straight, which is I need to be strong, I need to be clear with my thoughts, and I want to achieve my day-to-day activities that are good for myself, my family, my loved ones, and maybe my work as well. So yeah, these become more important over time, and I become less of the fitness bunny and more of the wellness kind of support cheerleader.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think I'm just going to go back to, your story that you started, and you're really body aware and you understand your body. And not once have you mentioned hot flushes or changes in your periods. And that to me just says so much of what I've learned on my journey from listening to women as well. It's not what we think it is and what our parents and our family members and our aunties have said. It's actually how it feels in ourselves. And that's really hard to quantify as well. But it's about trusting our heart and what we think's going on. And, both you and I like to think I'm pretty aware in health. And actually, it's still crept up on me in patients. And like you said, you're aware of you and you didn't know about it. And I think that's kind of what drives us both to want to improve things as well, to make it easier.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay, so you've got that knowledge. How can you make it work? Because women are busy. A lot of the time exercise has fallen off the bandwagon. How can you bring exercise in, and what kind of exercises can you make easy? If you can kind of summarize that,
Yeah.
the big question.
I've thought about this a lot, and I get asked this a lot because I understand that how busy people's lives are. And oftentimes we go into, I'm going to start an exercise regime and lose traction after about 10 days and feel worse for ourselves. So I think about this a lot. And the science supports strength-based training for women. So that's where I focus with the fitness training app. However, if a woman wants to get moving, the minimum baseline that I would recommend, which ticks all the boxes for your physical health, your mental health, and possibly relationships, if you can get other people to join you, is to just get walking. Like, if you do nothing else, get up in the morning, 20 minutes walking. If you've got an animal, then obviously you've got no excuses. And that sunlight that hits your eyes, that helps with your sleep regime. So you're actually going to tick quite a few boxes just with that. And that's the bare ass minimum, basically. If I was going to do something else at the back end of the day, I would do some light yoga and stretching, because that's also going to decrease your cortisol levels through, help to bring it right down, mentally and emotionally and physically prepare you for a good night's sleep, because sleep is a big issue. So those would be my absolute baselines, and I feel that that works for a lot of people, especially if you can find someone to be accountable to. Makes it so much more enjoyable. You can chat about your experiences, your various symptoms while you're out walking, and compare notes, and I think that that actually is probably a way to sustain movement. As you start to feel that you've got that sorted out, then you could look into the strength training to find a credible source, some good resources, join the gym or not join the gym. There's good programs out there, and then include some strength-based training at least once a week. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say, because I feel like, I can say, do this, do this, do this, do this, and it becomes just too much. Our checklists, our daily checklists are massive. So I'm not going to make it more stressful for someone. So walk in the morning, stretch in the evening, and just do the best that you can throughout the day. Yeah, get up and move every now
Awesome.
and again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think I'm going to start some yoga. I think
yeah,
you've
come on,
inspired
Sydney.
me. Like, I'm seeing your checklist. I'm actually staying at Tracy's at the moment. She saved me. It's another story. Yeah, I think I'm going to start some yoga. But can you just clarify for me, what does strength training mean? Because, even in our doctor world, we discuss this, like, what's the difference between strength training and resistance training? And what does strength training involve?
Yeah, so it does mean lifting something that challenges your muscles for sort of 8 to 12 repetitions. Now, if you're a complete beginner, I'd go at the higher end, 12 to 15 repetitions, because you've got to start somewhere. It's got to be something that is safe, that you're not going to get injured, but it will challenge your muscles. Okay, so you've got to be able to feel the resistance to the point where you're like, I think I need to stop now from a mental perspective and a physical perspective. So, strength training, yeah, we're talking about weight training. I think if I dumb it down a little bit more, we're talking about resistance training, which would be booty bands or body weight exercises working against gravity. If you have no dumbbells or you don't have access to any sort of heavy weights, then yeah, I mean, you start with that. You start with what you've got. But if you are really going to retain muscle, and that supports your menopause symptoms, there's so much evidence with that, and your long-term health, your heart health, your joint recovery, your bone density, like strength training is the mecca for us, I think. So we do really want to work towards that. But like I said, start with the walk, start with the yoga, and then really think, okay, when is there a good time for me to integrate this?
Awesome. Can I ask you one last kind of work-related question? So we were chatting earlier about like I've got some colleagues, some friends, some patients who haven't been that active over the last few years, and one of them wanted as kind of her weight's plateaued, and she's wanting to improve her strength. And from my medical background, I can feel that would really benefit her in many ways, like you said. And she signed up to a program, and it had burpees. And the program actually had burpees or step up to burpees that she could do. Do you mind just kind of explaining that from kind of based on what we talked about earlier? Because I think that's really valuable and kind of really empowering, understanding how you can achieve it over kind of a gradual process.
Yeah, I think if we look at the burpee itself, when you see the burpee executed at full speed, it can be really overwhelming, and a lot of people will go too hard. But if you break down the mechanics of it, there is an option for everyone. So, first up, it's one of the best functional exercises you can do where you're moving your whole body. So, it ticks all the boxes with cardio, strength, explosion, plyometrics, and it just uses, all the muscles in your body to get you moving. But I think you need to start by breaking down the mechanics. So the first step would be put your hands on the floor, step your feet back to a plank. Don't do the jump. Then step your feet back to your hands and stand up. That's baseline burpee 101. And just understanding, hey, that's a burpee, but you're starting at setting your foundations, getting your functional movement set without hurting yourself, without feeling like you're not achieving anything. Over time, you'll jump your feet back to a plank. The next thing is you'll take your body all the way down to the floor in the push up. And the last part will be that you'll add the plyometric jump at the end. But if we broke that up, that could take you 8 weeks to get to a full explosive burpee. And then you only want to do one. And then over time, you want to build up the repetitions. So those are really cool. It's like personal goal setting to go, I'm going to start from here. And hopefully in 6 months' time, I'll be doing 10 full burpees. I think, personal goals for things, those things blow my hair back. They make me excited when I see people get there, or when they send me messages in the app and tell me that they've been able to do that. It makes me feel so proud of people, because I feel like sometimes we overrate fitness, like being able to do this and chin ups and all that stuff. And I feel like sometimes you just got to go, hey, if I can do step one, I'm winning.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think, thanks so much for having me today. It's been an amazing opportunity for me being with Tracy and talking, like sharing my medicine, but learning about her fitness. And I think also what I've struggled with is having somebody to refer on to who has the same opinions and approaches, but also some differences because of different strengths. And I think hopefully kind of this chat today, one of the things I wanted to kind of show people is that actually our village is really big. We need to find our own pathway, and there's different people with different opinions, and that's okay as well. But I do actually think I've agreed with you on everything you've said. But in principle, we don't have, no, people always don't have to agree. So yeah. Is there anything else like kind of, I'll put the slide on and a link to your podcast, and I'll get the company to kind of email it around if that's okay. And is there anything else that you want to say, or kind of lasting inspirational words, or?
No, I think we're good.
Awesome.
We're on the same page. Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I will catch up with you soon.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.
Like
Bye.
2 minutes.